Hi everyone, thanks for checking out another video. Today we're going to look at Windows 2000 Professional, and this was aimed at the business side of things. It was released in March of 1999, and this was actually the better version of the operating systems that were available for the time, because this is actually the time when Windows 2000 was there and we had the Millennium version, ME. Hopefully I can also review that one. It's kind of difficult to find that one because ME has always been regarded as one of the worst operating systems that Windows came with. ME is kind of in the same box as Windows Vista, and after Vista came Windows 7, which in my opinion is one of the best operating systems Windows ever made. But without further ado, let's go into Windows 2000. I ran Windows 2000 on my machine that came originally with Windows ME, and I upgraded to 2000 and also the Professional Edition because that was the most stable. It has anti-technology, network technology inside, and it was just a great operating system until Windows XP came. And this is also something that around the Millennium I had. So I upgraded myself from Windows 98 to 2000 Professional. Not sure how I did that actually. I don't think I downloaded it. I think it maybe even came off a Twilight CD before the internet. But without further ado, it's kind of an upgrade compared to Windows 98. Some new icons, I think. Maybe they even leave it the same. But under the hood, like code-wise and stability-wise, also the improvement for USB connectivity without the blue screen of that, all that kind of stuff, they upgraded, and it was already more geared toward the internet even more. So it comes with Outlook straight out of the box. We all remember those days. You know, you could have your Hotmail set up here or your Yahoo. Around that time, I had those kind of services. Let's go into programs, accessories, synchronize. So if you had a PDA, I think, command prompt, which is MS-DOS, games. Let's see if fax. I really need to click on it. Virtual desktop, yes. Fax. I hope I can show all these options. Doesn't really work very good here in the browser, this operating system. Startup. Internet Explorer. Okay, this is not a very great copy, but you get the idea. Hopefully we can get into the settings, the control panel, because that always shows you a little bit more of the in-depth features. System. So this is Windows 2000, Service Pack 2, registered to nobody. 265K of RAM or more. Hardware. Device Manager, Hardware Wizard, Hardware Profiles, username, Administrator, Startup and Recovery. You see, Windows was getting a little bit more advanced. Let's see what else we got. Administrative tools, display. What's this? What's going on with the mouse? Network and dial-up connections. Local area network. So yeah, file sharing. You could do LAN parties, local area network parties with games. You could connect to each other with the network with the use of a network interface card. ISP connection. So here you see still a telephone line, which indicates a modem. This was all before the internet, and this operating system was also, you could go to the internet with a broadband connection. But again, we're talking March 1990. 1999, sorry. Um, that was not common good yet. I mean, for myself, that from this moment on of the release of this operating system, it still took more than 3 years before we got our first bandwidth, our first broadband internet connection using not ISDN, but like a cable internet. And that meant you could stay online 24/7. There was no data cap and none of that stuff. So that really changed everything. I mean, this was most of the time you were offline. And when you wanted something, you go to various websites or you have programs. By this time, Napster was slowly shutting down, I think. But it transformed into torrents. And there were many peer-to-peer programs out there. I mean, when they were shutting down Napster, new programs popped up, peer-to-peer transfers, unencrypted data back then. Not like today, we have peer-to-peer networks where you can even have encryption on the data in transit. But not back then. It was all clear for your ISP, for everybody. But it was the wild, wild west. You know, it was a new era. In computing, it was the early days of the internet. My network places, let's see what works here. Entire network. You could do a scan on all the computers that were on the same network. Computers near me, ISP users. You see also this networking stuff, and this is also directed at the company level. So it's very important that you can have you can connect to other users, other colleagues, and transfer data to them, and they could see certain data from you. So it was there was NT technology, like network technology, inside this version of Windows 2000. I really liked it. We also had the professional version. I mean, we always went for the professional version if that was available, because it just borrowed a lot of, like, the best parts of Windows were used. The NT technology, a lot of bug fixes were eliminated, all those kind of stuff. So we always went for the professional version if needed. And we did the same with XP, and we did the same with Windows 7, but Microsoft eliminated the professional. They don't add that no more. I mean, back then it was a home version for home users and a professional version for corporate users, basically. Let's see what else we can find, and otherwise we call this a wrap or Windows Media Player. I must say this doesn't really work that well here, this Windows 2000 copy in the browser, but you get an idea. It's basically an upgrade over Windows 98, and the second edition of Windows 98 was the best in my book. It was just an upgrade, and most of the upgrades were under the hood and not necessarily as much as in the graphical user interface. I mean, they upgraded a few symbols and icons, but that's low-hanging fruit, so they did that. But under the hood, this was a very good and very stable for the time operating system, and I have good memories of Windows 2000, which I ran until I think 99 to 2002, and then in 2002 I switched to Windows XP, which I think I have the best memories of XP. But Windows 2000 was definitely a good operating system, and Windows ME, the computer that I bought also in 99, it came with ME. I only used ME for a couple of months until I had the opportunity to switch to 2000 Pro, and then we did that, and we didn't regret. We never looked back. I still have a copy of ME. I have a copy of XP. Yeah, and I have a copy of Windows 7 and the rest of the Windows version. Oh, I have 95 as well. I forgot that. So 95, ME, XP, and Windows 7. That's where we got copies from, and all the rest either came from the internet or came from Twilight CDs. And when you really have to know it, in the recent years, I really switched to a lot of Linux-based operating systems, especially after a lot of those distributions came available. You can really pick the best distribution that you want. And also through torrent sites, many Windows copies were infected with malware, spyware, which is very easy. And back then, those hackers or script kiddies or whatever they was having a laugh because they just distributed to a peer-to-peer network, and people start downloading that infected copy of Windows, and hey, the enemy is sleeping with you. But I will not go any further into that. This is Windows 2000. I have good and fun memories of this. Use this for a couple of years until we moved on to bigger and better things, which is XP. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you guys in the next one.